Senator Kelly Loeffler and her husband, Jeff Sprecher, will liquidate their stock portfolio after facing a backlash for purchasing and selling $1.4 million of stock just before the market toppled because of the Wuhan virus pandemic, for which she had been in an intelligence briefing. Her stock holdings will be converted to mutual funds and exchange-traded funds by third-party advisors who will handle her investments. Loeffler and numerous other senators have been accused of insider trading during this pandemic. And in an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal, the senator defended herself, saying, "I never traded on confidential coronavirus information, but to end the distraction, my family will divest from individual stocks." Well, that's interesting because her husband is also a fellow who is running the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. Well, breaking tonight, the state of Georgia will receive hundreds of thousands of hydroxychloroquine doses to treat patients suffering with the Wuhan virus. House Republican Congressman Doug Collins announced Amneal Pharmaceuticals, one of the country's largest generic drug makers, will donate 200,000 doses of hydroxychloroquine to the Georgia Department of Public Health. And joining us tonight is Congressman Doug Collins, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. He's also running for the Senate in Georgia, or more specifically, the Senate seat now occupied by Senator Kelly Loeffler. Congressman, good to have you with us. Let me ask you, first of all, about the divestiture on the part of Loeffler and her family, apparently, which is sort of remarkable to me at least, into mutual funds and ETFs, I suppose.
Right. Well, look, Lou, I'm not sure where this story is going to continue. It's had so many turns lately. I mean, just this week, she stated in an article that was written by Washington Post that she would, if looking back on it, she would have done nothing different. Well, now she's doing something very different, and I guess it's not because she, as she claimed in the editorial or anywhere else, that it was wrong. It was just that I believe that she found out that the people of Georgia didn't believe her, and it was showing in the poll numbers. It was showing in the fact that there was many people down here who have lost everything are looking at this and saying something's not right. So it's interesting also in that article that the op-ed, that she starts it out by saying that during this time of the COVID-19 that she is now being targeted. I don't think a lot of people who are dealing with this disease want to think that Senator Loeffler is being putting in the same as those who are suffering right now with this disease. So I think it's just a sad turn, but it also goes back to the fact that the problem she has is trust, and the Georgia voters will be the ones that determine that.
Well, your polling, which we have reported here on this broadcast, shows, I think some people might say cynically, a not surprising advantage for you, but it's an overwhelming one if your polling is accurate. Where are you in this campaign, and what do you think is your principal advantage right now?
Principal advantage is we're known, we're trusted, we're tested. Everybody can look and see what we have done in Congress. They can look at how we stood up in sham impeachment. They can look at how we've dealt with Adam Schiff, that you just, who's at it again. They know that we support this president. There's no doubt about that. They know that we support them, so that we're trusted with them. That's why our numbers before this, even this stock issue even came up, we were winning before then. And we're winning now because people know that we're the ones that can represent them in the state of Georgia, because we put their interests first and not our own.
Well, it's a divide now between Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, and the president on this issue. It's an ugly place for Mitch McConnell to have taken, in fact, the fortunes of the Senate, rather than supporting you, supporting Loeffler. There's a peculiar atmosphere to her being in that seat to begin with. And secondly, to the persistent efforts of this majority leader and the leadership of the Senate to keep her in it against the will, apparently, of the citizens of Georgia.
Well, it has been interesting. The Notice of Senate Committee has taken a very visceral and very ugly tone toward me. It's interesting that they would rather tell the people of Georgia who to vote for than not. So, look, if this is what they want to do, that's fine. We're going to have a campaign that people are responding to. We're going to win. And this is just an ugly episode right now in which, unfortunately, we're talking about this where she's having to divest, her portfolio because it didn't look good. Look, her new crisis communication team, it looks like, is trying to say anything they can to make this look better. It's just not looking better. The people of Georgia will decide this. They're already deciding this, and they've already made their opinion that they don't like what they're seeing.
Two things to take up very quickly with you, Congressman. And one is Tedros, Dr. Tedros, the head of the World Health Organization. The president has made it clear you have signed on as well to defund the WHO. This is a peculiar way to run the World Health Organization, claiming that that somehow the president is the one who has politicized the issue, when it is Tedros who has sidled up to President Xi Jinping, in point of fact, endorsed the totalitarian government, the communist government of China, and its repressive response to the Wuhan virus that now has exploded into a global pandemic.
It's just very frustrating and but very common too. Lou, think about this. How many of the international organizations, they're jealous of America. They're jealous of this president because he's done exactly what he said he would do. He put our interests first. He would make sure that we'd have a strong presence so that others in the other countries could have strong presence. International organization that coddle up to terrorists and coddle up to dictators and all, they don't like a president who is actually taking action and taking responsibility for his own country. There's no need for them to get money. There's no need for them to do this. If they'll turn a blind eye when China was the start and the cause of this with its wet markets, which, by the way, need to be closed. Those wet markets do not need to be reopened. If they're willing to turn a blind eye to this, then they don't need our help. And I think the president's done a great job. They just don't like this president. They've taken on Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and others who just don't like this president.
Congressman, great to have you with us. Thanks so much. Congressman Doug Collins joining us from the great state of Georgia.